Chapter 1: The Waiting Life. Arjun always dreamed of a better future. A future where he had a good job, where he spoke English confidently, where he stood tall and proud in front of people. He wanted respect. He wanted growth. He wanted success. But instead of moving forward, he kept waiting. Every morning he told himself, "I will start tomorrow. Today I am too tired. I will begin when I have more time. I will start when I feel confident." Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. His dreams stayed the same, but his life did not change. Inside his heart, Arjun felt a silent pain, the pain of staying stuck. He watched people around him grow, learn, improve, and move ahead. But he remained in the same place, telling himself the same excuses. He believed he needed the perfect moment, perfect money, perfect support, perfect confidence. He thought life would change magically someday. But deep inside, he knew the truth. Nothing will change unless he changes first. One evening, Arjun was sitting alone near his window. He looked at the sky and suddenly felt a strong thought. Why am I waiting? What am I waiting for? Nobody was going to come and push him. No miracle was going to knock on his door. No teacher, no friend, no family member could start the journey for him. Only he could. And in that quiet moment, Arjun realized the biggest truth of life. If I don't take one step, my life will not take even one move. His heart felt heavy but also hopeful. For the first time, he understood that the power to change his life was already inside him. He just needed to begin. Chapter 2: One Small Decision. The next morning, Arjun woke up with a strange feeling inside him. It wasn't excitement. It wasn't fear. It was something new, a quiet push, a gentle voice telling him, "Do something today, even if it is small." All his life, Arjun believed success required big actions. Huge plans, perfect ideas. But now he wondered, what if my first step doesn't have to be big? What if it can be small, simple, and easy? He sat at his small study table, opened an empty notebook, and held his pen for a moment. The page was blank, just like his future. But instead of feeling scared, he felt ready. He wrote one English word on the page: opportunity. He looked at it for a long time. He said it slowly. He repeated it again. He searched its meaning. He made a sentence. That's it. Just one word. But that one word gave him a feeling he hadn't felt in years: progress. For the first time, Arjun realized that change doesn't begin with perfection. It begins with a decision. A small decision that says, "I am starting no matter what." He didn't learn a chapter. He didn't learn grammar rules. He didn't try to study for hours. He took one small step. And that single step made him feel stronger than any big plan ever had. That night before sleeping, Arjun opened his notebook again and looked at the word. It wasn't just a lesson, it was hope. It was a reminder that he had finally started. He whispered to himself, "Tomorrow I will learn one more word." And with that tiny promise, his journey truly began. Chapter 3: The Habit That Changed Everything. The next day, Arjun opened his notebook again. He turned to a fresh page and wrote a new word. Then he repeated it, slowly, carefully, patiently. It felt good. He didn't realize it, but something powerful had already begun. A habit. Every morning before starting his day, Arjun learned one more word. Sometimes he learned two. Sometimes he learned a short sentence. And sometimes, when he felt tired, he only revised the words he already knew. But he never stopped. In the beginning, it felt slow. Too slow. He wondered, will this even help? Is one word a day enough? But after a few weeks, he noticed a beautiful change. His notebook was filling up. 30 words, 40 words, 50 words. Each word was a tiny victory. Each sentence was a quiet achievement. Each day, Arjun grew a little more confident. He started using these words in real life. While thinking, speaking to himself, ordering food, or messaging someone. His tongue no longer felt heavy. His mind no longer felt scared. He realized something important. Small steps done daily become big results. Many of his friends used to start studying with big plans. I will learn English in 1 week. But after 2 days, they gave up. Arjun did the opposite. He started small. He stayed consistent. He showed up every day, even when he didn't feel like it. And that consistency slowly changed him. His mindset became stronger. His fear became smaller. His confidence began to rise. One day, Arjun looked at his notebook and whispered, "This habit is changing my life." And he was right. Because the truth is simple. You don't need big steps. You just need small steps repeated every day. Chapter 4, Challenges and Doubts. As weeks passed, Arjun's confidence slowly grew. But something else also began to grow around him, people's opinions. At first, he ignored them. But soon, the comments became louder. Why are you wasting time learning English? You will never get a good job. You are already too late. This won't change anything. Some people laughed at his small notebook. Some mocked him for learning just one word a day. Some rolled their eyes when he practiced speaking. Their words hurt him more than he expected. One evening when he was studying, a friend told him, "All this effort will lead nowhere. Be practical." Arjun closed his notebook quietly. A deep sadness filled him. Doubts wrapped around his mind like heavy chains. Maybe they are right. Maybe I can't do this. Maybe I should stop. For a moment, he felt like giving up. Not because English was hard, but because negativity was harder. He sat alone that night, staring at his notebook. Suddenly, he remembered the feeling he had on the first day when he learned his first word. The excitement, the hope, the spark. He realized something important. People don't laugh because you are wrong. They laugh because they cannot see your future. Arjun wiped his tears and said softly to himself, "This is my journey, not theirs. They will understand later." He opened his notebook again and learned one more word. Just one, but that single word felt like a victory. A message to himself that he wouldn't quit. Challenges didn't disappear. People still talked. Doubt still returned sometimes. But Arjun continued anyway. Because deep in his heart he knew the truth. Those who keep going during doubt become the ones others admire later. Chapter 5, The Turning Point. Weeks passed, and Arjun's small habit began to shape him in ways he never expected. Every evening, after finishing his long day of work, He sat by the small window in his room with his notebook. The window looked out onto a noisy street. But inside his little corner, there was silence, focus, and determination. He opened the same notebook that now carried dozens of new English words. Words he once believed he would never understand. Some days he felt tired. Some days he felt lazy. Some days he questioned himself. Will this really change anything? Will I ever speak confidently? Will my life ever improve? But each time those doubts appeared, he remembered the promise he had made to himself on that first day. No matter what happens, I will learn at least one new English word every single day. Slowly, the fear inside him began to shrink. The confidence he never had started to grow. He began practicing short sentences, greeting people in English, and even trying to read simple articles. His pronunciation wasn't perfect, but it was better than before. His understanding wasn't complete, but it was improving. Every day, Arjun could feel himself becoming a new person. Someone braver, someone more disciplined, someone more hopeful. And then something happened that changed everything. One morning, Arjun's supervisor called him. Normally, he would panic, afraid of being questioned in English. But that day, something in him felt different. He stood straighter, breathed deeply, and walked forward with steady steps. His supervisor smiled and said, "Arjun, I've noticed your improvement. A new position has opened up, one that requires basic English. I think you should apply." In that moment, Arjun realized the truth. All this time, his one small step had been preparing him for this opportunity. The turning point had arrived. Chapter 6: The Power of One Step. Arjun stood there, hearing his supervisor's words echo inside his mind. A new position, a better opportunity. A chance he never believed would be offered to someone like him. For a moment, he felt the familiar fear rise. Fear of interviews, fear of speaking English, fear of failing. But then another thought appeared, stronger and clearer. I didn't come this far to stop now. That evening, Arjun went home with a different kind of energy. His small room felt brighter. His notebook felt heavier, not because of the pages, but because of the efforts, the dreams, and the courage written inside it. He read every word he had learned. He practiced simple sentences aloud. He smiled at his own mistakes, correcting them gently without frustration. For the first time in his life, he felt proud of himself. Not for being perfect, but for simply trying. The next day, he walked into the interview room. His heart beat fast, but his steps were steady. The panel asked him basic questions. He answered slowly, carefully, sometimes searching for words, sometimes repeating himself. But he spoke, he communicated. He did not freeze, he did not give up. And he did not let fear control him. When the interview ended, he walked out with a quiet confidence he had never known before. 2 days later, the news arrived. Arjun got the job. He held the letter in his hands. Reading it again and again, it felt unreal. Like a dream he had once been too afraid to dream. That night, standing by his window, Arjun whispered to himself, "This started with one word, one small step." And that was the truth. Most people wait for the perfect moment. Arjun didn't. He simply began, and that single step changed his entire destiny.